it's just another bad day. Dark feelings are back, assaulting your heart with a panic attack. There ain't no shame in feeling depressed. You need to sit down and talk, son, get it off your chest. It's just another bad day. Dark feelings are back, assaulting your heart with a panic attack.
Welcome to the first of the ANDYSMANCLUB live videos for Mental Health Awareness Week. Our theme this year is Real Stories by Real People. As some of you will know, my name's Nicol. I'm the lead facilitator of ANDYSMANCLUB in Perth. Going to go through a couple of questions. It'd be good to get your answers to them as I answer them. Hopefully get a chance to read some of them as well. The video should only be about half an hour long, but it'd be good if you could stick around, ask some questions, get your views on mental health awareness as well. So first of all, I've got a couple of questions from the other facilitators asking, is there subtitles available on this video? I don't think so. I had a look. If you're really struggling, then I'm sure somebody can help you out in the comments. Another one is, if Doctor Who needs to go to the toilet, does he go back in time to before he needs the toilet? Or Andy, I really don't know. That's a very silly question, so I'm not going to answer you. Another one is, why do I think AMC works so well? I'll get onto that one in a little bit through answering the other questions, but what I'd like to do to begin with is start on question one, which is, it's not really a question, it's just talking about my story, my journey through mental health. And yeah, so I'll start at the beginning. For a long time, talking about my mental health journey hasn't been easy. I struggled for quite some time to talk about how I was feeling, and I've since learned that it's almost the right thing to do, just to help other people. If it can support even just one person, then you're I guess that's all that matters. Sorry, my dog's whining at me just now, which is kind of putting me off. I'm going to look at the back. Right, so sorry, where was I? So my story, back in 2017, I believe, I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety and insomnia. My mood had been really low for quite some time. I didn't really put it down to anything. It was just, I'd never had anything like that before, so I didn't really know what it was. I just sort of went with it. It's got worse and worse progressively. My family started to notice, my partner started to notice, and it was my mum that recommended I went to the doctors, and that's how I got the diagnosis. I was initially put on tablets and sent on my way. It worked for a little while, but things progressively got worse as the year went on. I wasn't sleeping, I guess more than I had been. My mood was getting worse. I was falling out with friends, falling out with family, hiding myself away. It started to affect my work, my home life, family life, and it was just it was pretty tough. All the while I just wanted to be on my own, away from people, didn't want to talk about anything. And it got to the stage around about, I can't think when, it was around about Halloween time. I got really bad in 2017. My mental health took quite a bad dip, to the point that I started getting really dark thoughts about ending my life, thoughts about not wanting to be here anymore, thinking that people would be better off if I wasn't here. My mum was having to come round to make sure I was eating. I wasn't listening to my partner or anything, so she was coming around with McDonald's just to see if I would eat. Make sure I was washing, getting out of bed, all things that I really didn't want to do. It was pretty tough, and I could see my family getting upset and seeing me deteriorate the way I was. I'd gone to my doctors a couple more times. They'd up my dosage on my tablets. They were asking me all the right questions. Was I feeling suicidal? Was I being active? Was I talking about things? And the whole time I was telling them what they wanted to hear. Yes, I'm going out exercising, I'm walking the dog, I'm talking about my problems to my partner, my friends. I'm not feeling suicidal. I'm not having those sorts of thoughts. Just keep them off my back, really. I just didn't know how to get help. I thought I'll deal with this on my own. The whole male persona of just get on with it, just sort of get a grip. So yeah, about Halloween time, my mum had seen something on the news about a local men's mental health group called ANDYSMANCLUB. I'd never heard of it. I'd not been watching much telly, as you can imagine. So she'd come round, she was talking to me about it. She says it's a group for men. You sit in a room, in a circle with a ball, and you talk about feelings. At that time it sounded like the worst thing that, I don't know, that's not for me. It's one of these cliche AA meeting type style things, and I just wasn't for me. So my mum, being my mum, she guilted me into going. She was very persuasive. Made it, rather than about me, made it more about it'll help her if I go. It'll take a worry off her mind if I go. And I thought, well, she's never going to lay off, I guess. So I went to Costa, which is where we generally meet. I met up with Alec and Adam, who were running the Perth group. They introduced themselves, and I just sat and didn't say anything. It got to time to leave, to go up to McDermott Park, jumped in my car, thought I don't really want to go, but something drove, apart from my car driving me there, of course, something drove me to go to the club, just out of curiosity, I guess. So I attended for the first night. Maybe 6 guys there. I'd never said a word to any of them. I'd given Alec my name, and that was it. I wore big sort of can headphones, and I just didn't speak. I was really uncomfortable. I was really nervous. I was shitting it, really. It was the worst situation I could be in. From wanting to be on your own constantly to being around strangers to talk about feelings was not what I wanted to do. But I joined the circle when we got started at 7 PM. Ball came round, which question 1, sort of, how's your week been? I just passed the ball on, and this was the same for all the questions. I just couldn't engage with anybody. I had nothing to say. I didn't want to be there. So this went on for 4 weeks of telling my mum it was amazing. Oh, it's really good. Yeah, I'm getting a lot out of it. I'm talking, and I wasn't. Obviously, what's said in ANDYSMANCLUB stays in ANDYSMANCLUB, and I knew there was no way my mum would find out that that's nonsense. I wasn't talking at all. I wasn't helping myself. She believed that I was, and so did my partner. So 4 weeks went by. and it was about the sometime in November. I can't remember. This is it was my darkest day, really. Everything had gone wrong that day. It was it was little things though. It wasn't massive. Like, I went to get in the car because I needed to get something from the shop. Shop was 2 minutes away. I could have walked, but jumped in the car. But got to the car, didn't have my keys. Things like that were just, that riled me up. I was in the car, my mum phoned me. I didn't answer because I was driving. She phoned again and again and again, and that's just, my stress levels were getting higher and higher. I can't even remember half the other things that was triggering this mood, but all the while I'm having these horrendous thoughts that my mum's sitting panicking about me, and all I'm doing is driving to the shop. I'm not answering my phone. Everything's going wrong. The world's against me. I'm just, what's the point? So later on that night, I sat down with my partner. We were watching. We were putting something on Netflix. Stranger Things. We were watching, and I just remember it kept buffering. This went on for a good while, and it just ruined me. I just felt myself getting angrier and angrier and angrier, and then something just snapped. I knew what I was going to do, but I didn't say anything. I told my partner that I was going for a walk. In my head, I'd had enough. I really didn't feel life was worth living anymore. Not because the TV show was buffering, but it was just like, this is just another thing that I can't even get decent internet speed. Like, I'm that useless that I can't even do that. So I just had enough. I left the house. I told my partner, I'm going for a walk. I'll be back soon. Love you. Bye. And I left the house. So that was about 9 o'clock. The next 5 hours, I guess, were a blur. Most of it I don't remember, but what I do remember is, well, I walked the 45 minutes from town, from my house to town. I don't remember any of that. There's a 4-hour gap as well that I don't remember. What I was doing, I'm not sure. Where I was, I don't know. But things I do remember, it was about 1 AM. I remember being on the Queen's Bridge in Perth, standing, looking over into the water. The logical part of my head, rather than saying get off the bridge, was saying, what could I leave behind that people would know that this is where I've gone? I had my ANDYSMANCLUB wristband, this one here. I thought I could leave that and someone would know that that's where I've gone. I then logically thought, no, somebody might steal that, they'll never know then. So I thought, oh, what about my shoes? What if I left my shoes behind? At least they'd know that they were my shoes and that's where I've gone. Just silly things like that in my head. Rather than saying get off the bridge, I was done. I was finished with everything. I just wanted people to know that that's where I'd gone, to prevent any sort of pain for them trying to find out why I'd gone missing. But I decided that I wouldn't leave my shoes either, they'd get stolen. So I left a bracelet that I had, that I wore, so I left that on the side of the bridge. And I climbed the railings. So I was standing on the railings of the Queen's Bridge, holding on to a road sign. And I was going to end my life. I knew I was gonna, although there are patches where I don't remember things, I know that that's what I was going to do. I thought about nothing really. Nothing that the parts that I can remember, I didn't think about anything apart from that's what I had to do. The next thing I remember is hearing sirens. I then saw a police car speeding down Tay Street, maybe 50-60 mile an hour, and it didn't, nothing clicked with me. I remember it, I just remember seeing it, and then the next thing I remember is one policeman on the right hand side of me coming up saying, "Is everything okay?" And all I can think of, like the strange thought in my head was, well, that's a silly question to ask. And then the next thing I remember is getting slammed to the ground by the other policeman who'd grabbed the back of me and pulled me to the ground. They put me in the back of their car and just chatted to me, and I broke down. I was telling them I don't want to be here anymore, that I'm not worthy of anybody's time or anybody's effort. I'm just a disappointment to my family and my work, everything, and yeah, it's just why burden them anymore? So the police, they got hold of the crisis team at about 1 in the morning. I spoke to one of the crisis team on the phone. Again, that's a bit of a blur too, but I remember the police then took me home, and put me in the care of my partner, who was obviously quite upset at what had happened. She'd obviously known I'd gone missing. I'd turned my phone off, and they put me in her care. So the next morning, when the hospital were available, I guess, I was driven by by my partner, and my family had already known. We'd gone round that morning and we told them. My mum was devastated. My sister was there. She was devastated as well. They were in bits, and I couldn't talk. I was completely catatonic. I couldn't say a word to anybody. I just kept thinking that, like, after the failure, I can't even kill myself properly. So I was taken for a psychological evaluation at the hospital. My partner waited outside for me, and for the first time I started answering things truthfully. I told the psychiatrist that I did want to end my life. I didn't want to be here anymore, and the reasons for feeling like that. From then on, I was admitted to Carthew in Nine Wells. Carthew in Dundee, sorry, for a week. I found that really difficult. I wasn't able to see any friends or family, and it was pretty rough. After that week was up, I got transferred to Murray Royal in Perth, which was a lot closer, and I stayed there for 5 weeks. During that time, I got to meet a lot of really amazing people who were suffering the same as I was. They were suffering with horrible thoughts. They really just having a hard time of it. And I got talking to them and talking about my situation and how it made me feel, and basically what I could have done at ANDYSMANCLUB. This whole time I could have spoke about it at that group, and I could have made myself feel better, but I didn't, because I thought, well, why would I want to do that? Like, this is just weird. Guys don't do this. During that time while I was in hospital, the guys of ANDYSMANCLUB, these men that I'd never spoken to, I'd only ever told them my name, were contacting me near enough every day. How are you getting on? Do you want us to come up and visit? Do you need anything? We're all here for you. And that really got me. I'm sitting there thinking, I've never spoken to these guys, and all they want to do is support me. This is mad. I didn't want any visitors, so I'd said no thank you, but the messages were amazing, just getting these guys knowing that there's people that cared. This went on for the 5 weeks. I was finally discharged from hospital on a Monday at about 5 p.m, and the first thing I did once I'd got home and got changed was go to ANDYSMANCLUB. I was greeted at the door by Adam and Alec again, like I'd never been away. I was given a hug, given a coffee, and given a seat. And yeah, my sort of ANDYSMANCLUB journey started from there. I was able to take my headphones off and just get involved. And I won't spoil the other questions, but that's my story with mental health. It's still difficult to talk about it, but I know it's important to talk about it because it has a potential to help someone else, and I think that's important, and I think that's what I could have done with when I was really unwell. I'm not 100%, well, fixed is probably not the right word. I still have shit days, but so does everybody, but it's about talking about them and knowing that the days are shit. Right now with the whole COVID thing, I am struggling. I struggle with the change. I am a creature of habit, and routine is massive for me, and I have really struggled with this, and I hold my hands up to it. It's not been easy, but I know I'll get there. I've got ANDYSMANCLUB, even though it's online video. It's incredible. I've got a fantastic partner. My family are amazing. I've got friends that would be there whenever I needed them. Whereas before I just shut them all out. So it's so important just to share your story wherever you can and talk about it. If you break a leg, you're not going to sit with a broken leg. You're going to go and get it fixed, and it's the same with a broken mind. You're going to go and want to get it fixed. As difficult as it might seem at the time in your head, it is doable, but you need to talk about it. Like, people won't help unless you ask for the help. And that for me is something that I realised, and now still realise. So thank you for listening to my story. It's a little bit long-winded, but you get lost in it sometimes. So I'll move on to question 2, which is my journey with AMC. Kind of tied in a little bit with my story, but my journey really started, like I said, once I got out of hospital. I sat in that circle, and I was able to start talking about how I was feeling. The first 3 questions always the same: how's your week been? One positive from your week, and anything you want to get off your chest. And I found myself having so much to talk about but I drew sort of inspiration from others in the group that were talking, because at the time I was thinking, I've really got nothing that I want to get off my chest, and someone else would mention something that would trigger something else in your head. You'd be like, that's exactly what I was thinking the other day. And you start talking about it, and you just think, just by talking about these simple things, it makes you feel so much better. It really was massive. Then we have a break, and you get to chat to the guys more than you would normally. You talk about things you've maybe just shared, you talk about other life experiences, and just get to know them. We come back in for question 4 and 5. They're more positive neurological response questions. They leave you on a bit of a high, which is brilliant. So things like, what's your favourite joke, to what 3 people would you take on a car journey with you? Things that could maybe get you thinking, but maybe thinking more positively and having a bit of a laugh. And yeah, that really helps. It gets you out the door on a buzz. You're leaving, you're absolutely flying. Like most guys, they go home and you don't. It's really hard to get to sleep on a Monday after group. Your head's buzzing with everything that's been discussed, and it's a great feeling, and it sets you up for the whole week. Like you sit on Sunday, go, oh, I can't wait for a group on Monday, and that sounds cheesy, but I'm not the only one that says that. Monday has become the best day of the week because you know you're going to go somewhere that gives you that boost. One of our guys said the other day that it's addictive. It is. It's what you do. Monday evenings are reserved for Andy's Man Club. That's it. There's nothing. There's nothing else or nowhere else I'd rather be on a Monday. So my Andy's Man Club journey is, like I said, I was going for weeks and then months, and the group was getting bigger and bigger. We're opening new groups across the UK, opening other groups in Scotland, and the numbers were just growing exponentially, and it was incredible. To the point, about a year later, Alec and Adam, who had been running all the groups in Scotland really, were they were moving on to sort of oversee all the groups in Scotland, and they asked me if I wanted to become the lead facilitator of Andy's Man Club in Perth. To be honest, I thought he was taking the piss. Alec explained that the journey that I'd been on, to being in the lowest point in my life, to being absolutely buzzing, would put me in the right sort of place to run the group. I didn't really believe it myself, I guess, but of course I accepted. It was an absolute honour to accept it. So I got a team of facilitators together. We now have 8 facilitators in Perth, and they're incredible guys. They run those groups like just incredibly well, with respect for every person in that room. They ensure everybody's given the right space to speak and the right support as well. And I'm so proud of their journey as well. I have been on a bus tour with Andy's Man Club. We toured the country on 2 giant coaches, visiting different cities where we have an Andy's Man Club, and we were just talking to people, getting the word out there that it's okay to talk, that this group is there for people that need us, and that was absolutely incredible. We arrived in Perth on the bus. We were 2 hours late, and the crowd was massive. There was 100 people there on Tay Street waiting on us. That was brilliant. I'm so proud of the Perth people for coming out to support us. Got off the bus and I told my story, the story that I've just told you at the start of this video about my mental health and my journey. And once I'd done my story, my mum wanted to introduce me to somebody. So she introduced me to a gentleman called Graham, and he told me that the night in question when I was stood on the bridge, he was the gentleman that called the police. I was a bit sceptical to begin with. I was a bit stunned. I didn't really understand what he was meaning, but he told me things from that night that it could have only been him that had called the police. He knew where I had been standing, he knew the time, he knew the date, and he'd always wondered what had happened to me. Whereas obviously I'd always wondered what had happened to the person that phoned the police. So here I am face to face with him at the end of an incredible bus tour with the guy that saved my life. The guy that meant that my mum and dad still had their son, and I was absolutely stunned. I couldn't believe it. What are the chances? So for me, that was mad. That was probably the single craziest thing that's happened whilst part of Andy's Man Club. It just blows you away, really. I don't really believe in sort of coincidences and everything happens for a reason and stuff, but makes you think, eh? So yeah, that was my Andy's Man Club journey. Like I said, I still have down days. I think everybody does. We all have mental health. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad, but it's about, I guess it's just about knowing when the support's there and how to get that support. And for anyone thinking about coming to Andy's Man Club, any man over the age of 18, what have you got to lose by going? I nearly lost my life by not going and by not talking, and I'm so grateful that I did in the end. That's potentially what you've got to lose by not going. Just go. It might not be for you, it's not for everybody, but unless you go, you'll never know. Yeah, so that's my journey with Andy's Man Club. Question 3 on this bit of paper. How are you kind to yourself? Guys, I'd like to see your comments actually, how you're kind to yourself. If you want to get rude, I honestly couldn't care. Just saw a message there from a good friend of mine, John Luttrell. It's good to see you watching, John. Hope you're keeping well, buddy. Yeah, so how are you kind to yourself, guys? I'd love to hear your comments. For me, I don't beat myself up too much anymore about when things go wrong. I'm only human, I make mistakes, and whereas before I would be really hard on myself for making mistakes, nowadays I realise when I'm doing it, and I realise that it's not all that bad, really. It could be worse. So I would say I'm kind to myself in that way. I do things now that I enjoy doing. I socialise a lot more with the guys from Group, especially. We go for coffees near enough every third or fourth day. We meet for a coffee and we shoot the breeze, have a laugh. With a group of guys that I didn't know to begin with, and now I would call them almost family. We call ourselves a brotherhood in Andy's Man Club, and it's the word for it. These guys are incredible, and I have so much time for them all. They supported me through my toughest times, and I support them hopefully through their journeys as well. So I'm kind to myself by doing things that I enjoy, reading books, listening to audio books, just having a laugh with my partner. She's incredible. I'm very lucky to have her. She knows on my down days when I'm feeling low, and she's always there to perk me up again, or just to listen to me, and that's all I need. She's not kicking me in the arse saying, right, get out of the house. Like, she knows that's not what I need. So I know that she's got my back, and yeah. So how am I kind to myself? I do what I like doing. I socialise more. I don't beat myself up too much when things go wrong. That's what I do to be kind to myself. Question 4. What is something kind someone has done for me or for you? So get your answers in the comments here, guys. Oh, my dog brings the letters every morning. which is just done there, so that was handy. Yeah, so what's something kind someone has done for you? Something kind someone has done for me. Well, my birthday was last Tuesday, and I wasn't looking forward to having a birthday in lockdown. Obviously not getting to see my family, get to see my friends, and it was feeling pretty shitty about it. And I then, about 9 in the morning, got a bang on the door, followed by a very loud rendition of Happy Birthday. And it was guys from the group had come round with banners. One of them was dressed up as a dinosaur. They brought cake, they brought gifts and cards, and we all sat at different ends of my garden and had coffee, and it was buzzing. It was incredible to see them. Just I don't know, just to have these guys there on my birthday wanting to celebrate it with me. That was brilliant. That's something someone kind has done for me recently. They didn't need to do that. I live a wee bit out the way now from them, and it didn't matter to them. They wanted to be there for my birthday, so yeah, I was pretty shocked, and really, the people would do that. People in this day and age just would go that extra mile just to make somebody's day. So that's something kind that someone has done for me. I'd love to see your answers in the comments, guys, as well. I've not even been reading the comments, but I hope if there's any comments in there about group or anybody struggling, that there are people that are supporting them. Just having a quick look, I'm seeing a lot of Pete Douglas. He's one of our facilitators in Perth. His cheesecake, which is it was a great shout, Pete. Cameron is one of our other guys from ANDYSMANCLUB in Perth. His granddad helped fund towards a new computer so he could finish his college work at home. Stuff like that. That's incredible. It helps you out in a difficult situation, I guess, but it also probably make him feel really good for doing it, as well as it supporting you. So that's massive. It's really good to hear stuff like that. So we'll move on to question 5, guys. I'm conscious of the time. What coping strategies do you use? What coping strategies do I use? The obvious ones are ANDYSMANCLUB. Yeah, I can't see my life without it now. It's a huge part of my life. I've got a tattoo with "It's okay to talk." I'm kitted out with merch all the time, and it's such a massive coping strategy for me. They have supported me through the worst part of my life, helped me turn my life around, and now I can give back to other people. Another coping strategy I use is generally helping others. I find has been able to help me. I'm now a Samaritan as well, so I have the privilege of listening to people on the phone when they are struggling the way I struggled, and just being a voice at the other side of the phone for some people is just enough to get them through a day, and that helps me cope as well, just knowing that I've maybe done a little bit good in the world that day, or I've maybe helped just one person. So that is their coping strategies I use. I'm a big believer in just talking about how you're feeling. You've got nothing to lose by talking about it. It's so important that you do. And question number 6, what's your goals for the future with Andy's Man Club and being kind to others? Goals for the future of Andy's Man Club, we want to have a group in every major town and city in the UK. We've got 28 just now. We've put the brakes on just due to the old coronavirus at the moment. But we're planning stuff in the background. We never stop. We're on video calls all the time, just supporting one another and coming up with ideas and suggestions. Like this thing, I'm the first of quite a few guys that are going to be doing this every day throughout the week. I think I'm the first. I think so. It's just like the title suggests, it's real stories by real people. I've been there, and I just want to tell my story to help others, I guess. So goals for the future with AMC, just continue the growth of the group, get out and about into the community, talking to people, just try to find that one man, that one person that is struggling and just needs something. They've maybe never heard Andy's Man Club, they maybe tried everything and nothing works. Well, we've had guys in similar situations, they say nothing has worked for them, and then they come along to Andy's Man Club and you see them maybe 4 or 5 weeks later and they're a different person. It's incredible just seeing that, how just talking about how you feel without being judged by the people in the room and knowing that it's going to stay confidential is a massive weight for a lot of people. So we want to continue that. We want to continue on this journey that we've got going. We were going to do a bus tour again this year. Don't know what's happening with that because we've had to cancel it just due to the lockdown. Disappointing, want to get out there and shout about it, but we're not stopping, but it's just on hold. We had a training day set up to go to Alton Towers. Just like you do at work, you have an away day, you just get out and socialise, and that's what we were going to do in Alton Towers. Again, that's been delayed. So there's so much stuff in the pipeline about raising awareness for Andy's Man Club. A gumball rally was something that had been suggested, and it's a bit disappointing that this has happened. I completely understand why, but by even just doing videos like this, we're getting our message out there, and we're just hopefully helping people realise that it's okay to talk, and there are people that want to help you, and they just want to listen and support. All you need to do is reach out for it. And one for being kind to others. A wise man once told me to pay it forward. By paying it forward, I mean that doing something nice for somebody just for the sake of doing something nice, for no reward, no kudos, no recognition, just doing something in the hope that they'll then do something nice for somebody else. I know with lockdown there's been a lot of really nice things happening recently. We have guys in our group that will talk about little things they've done, so possibly somebody comes into they're getting their messages, or they're shopping as you call it down south, and the person in the front doesn't have enough money to pay for the things that they want, and they buy their shopping for them, they pay for it on their card and just leave the shop, and just say to the person to pay it forward. And it's tiny things like that maybe doesn't mean a lot to you, a couple of pounds, but to that one person that could be huge. And I'm not saying spend money on people, there's other things you can do. If you're cutting your grass, go and cut your neighbour's grass as well. If you're washing your windows or you're washing your car, offer to wash your neighbour's car. It's little things like this that just make the world a better place, I guess. And I think there needs to be more of it, and there has been more of it. There really has. We had a guy one of our members, I'm sure he won't mind me saying, he was trapped in Australia. He got trapped in Australia because of the virus. Couldn't get back, and him and his family were stranded. So, well, he put up a GoFundMe thing, and we shared it through our Facebook page, and it exploded. We were able to get him back. He's one of our own. We look after everybody in the group, and we got him and his family home safely. And that was massive. It meant a lot to him and his family. Just donating £10 or whatnot. But they all add up, and they all help. And little things like that. I don't know if anybody's got any examples of when they've paid it forward, but it'd be nice to see things like that in the comments. Maybe even inspire somebody to think about that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's me talk for quite a while now. Apologies if I've rambled on. I do tend to do that sometimes. Obviously the important bit for me was telling my story, and just the hope that it would inspire somebody to get help. Life's far too precious to let it slip away, or to end it prematurely. There is so much help out there, and there is so much support. You just need to look for it and ask for it. If you are thinking about joining Andy's Man Club, currently we are in lockdown, but we are doing online videos. If it's something you're interested in, I would urge you just to email info@andysmanclub.co.uk. That is our head office. They have got a group set up just for new guys, to give them a feel of what it's like. You're not throwing them in at the deep end. It's just a nice chilled out group on a Monday, 7 till 9. Join that, and then if you feel that you're more comfortable, then they can pass your details on to the facilitators of your local group, and you can join the video chats there. We've had 2 new guys recently join our group, and it's brilliant. Just knowing that you can still support everybody. Perth regularly sees about 50 guys every week. Our record's 62. We're currently seeing an average of 20 on the video chats. So it is working, and there is still support there. But if you think it's something for you, email info@andysmanclub.co.uk, and the guys will get you sorted out with the details you need to enter the online video chat. And yeah, it could just be the best thing you've ever done. It was for me. So yeah, I don't really think I've got much more to say, if I'm honest, guys, apart from thank you for listening to my story. It's been an absolute honour to be asked to do this today. I'm privileged just to get this opportunity, and I really do hope that this could just go on to find that the one man that just needs support, that's just down on his luck or just having a really shit time. Remember, we are here. We meet every Monday, 7 till 9, for any man over the age of 18. And as we always sign off at Andy's Man Club, can you put your chairs away? I need somebody to do the dishes, and it's okay to talk.
It's just another bad day, dark feelings are back, assaulting your heart with a panic attack. There ain't no shame in feeling depressed. You need to sit down and talk, son, get it off your chest. It's just another bad day, dark feelings are back, assaulting your heart with a panic attack. There ain't no shame in feeling depressed. You need to sit down and talk, son, get it off your chest.